Well, good Thursday afternoon from the trail. Look at, haha, Joe made it in this morning, drove up around lunchtime. We went to Lexington and bought a few things and had a great lunch and got back to the hostel, and they shuttled us up here, and look at our view. We are actually hiking southbound now, hiking from Salt Log Gap back to Glasgow. About a 30.7 mile stretch, and we're just going to enjoy ourselves and enjoy this beautiful nature. Look at this. Love it when the clouds are on the peaks of the mountains. God is good. Later. So look at our view from the top of some knob. Sorry, I forgot. Not a 360, but we've got probably 250 degrees of view. But we might get a 360 up there at the top of the knob. This is the thing that distinguishes Virginia from the other southern mountain states, is you get all these valley views in addition to the mountains. You know, when you're in North Carolina and Tennessee, all you see is mountains as far as the eye could see. But here you get the valleys as well. So I thought I'd give you a little tour of camp while Joe and I are together. Joe brought my new tent to me. I've decided to go back to tent, sleep on the ground for a while, because I got kind of claustrophobic in my hammock, frankly. I just got kind of sick of being so surrounded by it. But other advantages to tents as well, and some disadvantages, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. But anyway, he brought my new tent to me, so he's going to sleep in the hammock. So we've got kind of a little city here with a hammock set up over here with him, and over here my little tent. And we are at the top of I think it's actually called Bald Knob, though it's a misnomer because it's not, it is a knob, but it is not bald. As you can see, we have lots of trees around. Some of you might wonder what we do with our food at night to keep bears away. We hang a bear line. Basically, you just hang it up in a tree. I'm not really that strict about it around here because the bears aren't quite as sophisticated as some are in the Smokies. In the Smokies, they'll come by and snap your line and take it. But here, as long as you keep it out of their reach, they usually stay away from it. So we keep it 10 to 12 feet off the ground. You're supposed to keep it at least 8 to 10 feet away from the trunk of the tree, but I'm not too worried about it, again, because of the, well, first and foremost, lack of bear activity. Oh, what's happening, Nomad? This is my son, Joseph, Nomad. Nomad and I have been leapfrogging for what, 3 or 4 weeks? Well, good Friday morning from the trail. If you can see it through the fog, there's a beautiful little valley down there. And we think there's a farm down there. We got rain last night, so we've been in clouds, or been surrounded by clouds most of the morning. So that means humidity's high, but the temps are still relatively low. Joe's decided that humidity is the worst thing in the world, because those Coloradans have no idea what humidity is, which is a good thing.
I mean, it took me a while to remember what this is. I mean, I'm not still used to it.
We're going to head on down the mountain, though, and if I get a decent view, I'll check in again. So, here is our lunch spot on the banks of the Lynchburg Reservoir. The interesting thing is, this is not even listed on Guthooks. That's my navigation software. But we were walking along, and Joe said, "Is that a lake ahead?" And I said, "I don't know. It's not on the software." And sure as the world, there's a lake here. You can't camp along it. Maybe that's why Guthooks doesn't mention it at all, but you can sure have lunch by it. So that's what we're going to do. Well, good Saturday morning from the trail. And we are truly above the clouds. We're at about 3,600 feet, I think. And we are probably 500 feet above the clouds. Some clearing over there. Oh, we had a big rain last night. Minor thunderstorm, but a big rain. Rained for hours. This area needed it. That just means we're walking through a lot of spray from the trees this morning, but heading back to town. That's good cool breeze up here. We'll check in later. Well, good Sunday morning from the trail. It's about 11:16. Been on the trail for just over 2 hours. Joe dropped me off this morning at Salt Log Gap. That's where he and I started our trail southbound. He's on his way back to the airport in Roanoke, flying back home. I miss him already. Had a really good time with him. Very good time with him. It was just a special time of bonding and let me slow down and enjoy the trail a little more. So I was grateful that he was with me, and he had a chance to experience stealth camp, shelter camping, and staying at the hostel. So he did the whole ET experience in 3 nights. A lot of fun. I'm heading up to Priest Mountain in the next 5.5 miles or so. Priest Mountain is actually one of the last 4,000 footers that we get close to the summit of. We don't actually go to the summit of Priest, but we go up to the Priest shelter. And the cool thing about the Priest shelter is the logbook there is famous for being a place where people leave their confessions. So when I get up there, I'm going to read some of those to you. It should be a lot of fun. Let me show you my view. I think this is Priest Mountain just ahead of me. You can see we're still kind of socked in, but the clouds are lifting. It's supposed to be pretty today, hot again. But when I get up there, unless I see something else between now and then, I'll share with you some of the comments from the Priest book later. This is my afternoon lunch. I guess it's kind of afternoon lunch. I did a biscuit just before lunch. Haven't had much to eat today, but that's because I had a lot of town food yesterday. Oh, man, look at that hawk down there, flying down there. Can you see him? He disappeared. There he is. But look at this. This is why I love Virginia. I love these valley views. You can see the little farms and little communities and everything. There's the hawk again. See him? Been really overcast today. We've been in the clouds a lot. Haven't had a whole lot of views. That's why I haven't taken a lot of photos. And also, I'm kind of down and out. You know, lost my hiking buddy today. Joe headed back. So, had a wonderful time with him. Grateful for that time. Checking in later. So this is the Tye, I think it's spelled T-Y-E River. Let's see what it says. Trail conditions ahead may be icy and slippery. I don't think so. Anyway, Tye River Bridge. Another suspension bridge. I love these suspension bridges. Beautiful view of the river. A good Monday morning from the trail. And it is a gorgeous Monday morning. After a terrible Sunday evening. Good grief. Directly in front of us is Three Ridges Mountain. It should be called Three Jagged Mountains. Long story short, that may be the toughest climb I've had my entire hike. After 860 miles, brutal hike. You start way down at the river, hike about 3.5 miles up, switchbacks, but not hard switchbacks. But then you get to the shelter area, and when you get to the shelter area, you're still 3.3 miles or 3.9 miles from the peak. And when I got to the shelter, I was at 19.7 miles, and I thought I really want to do over 20 today. Long story short, I pushed off thinking I would find a tent site within a mile or two. It was already raining, but I thought, you know what, I'm prepared for it. I hiked 6.7 more miles up and over that brutal mountain, which is covered with rock fields. It reminded me so much of the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Brutal rock fields. And then had to come down that, traverse it all the way down to another shelter. Thank the Lord, around 9:30 last night, I got to the shelter, and the shelter was clear. So, good time this morning.